Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley. This is a 5-part series for women that is an enhancement for healing at the level of the national ancestor energy. What does that mean? It sounds so heady. When you heal through your spiritual anatomy, assuming that you have an understanding that you have a body and you also have a spirit body that very much resembles and overlays the physical body. It has an astral feeling nature. It has an etheric thinking nature, allowing movement of your joints. And you heal by degrees through different levels of energy. You begin healing your timeline and your this life. Then you go deeper and you heal more layers there. And then eventually you're doing pre energy before you're born. And the first chakra is in present time in your linear timeline of this life from birth to passing, but the other chakras are all multidimensional. So as you heal deeper in your energetic anatomy of the spirit body, you get into deeper layers of the energies. And eventually you get into working families and between families and competition between the bloodlines. And eventually then you start to get into the level of tribes, and above that, nations. So the national and the tribal level is a much more collective universal life level of healing. You start to get out of your own life force and personal power energy, which together make up your original essence. Sorry, my contact's giving me a problem. And then you get more into the universal life energy of which we all share part of. So this, along with the heart field healing, have explanations about your heart field and the importance of that in healing. You'll hear me say, in order to heal, you must be certain of your ability to do it. You must be neutral, and you must be in joy. The Creator creates in joy. And it's an odd thing, because when you think, well, I have to heal something, I'm usually not in a good space. There's ways that you can move a little bit of energy in training that you can have where you rise above that. And as a healer, if you're drawn to this work as a healer, a shaman, an energy worker, a light worker, a massage therapist who touches people, a nurse, doctors, or if you just feel the call for some of the information coming through the spiritual camps, the communities, the websites, the tons of people that are getting on board in the spiritual healing field. And it's the thing I've done the longest, even as a naturopathic doctor. I have done energy work or spiritual healing. And I say in my write-up for this website, it is the most profound thing I have in my toolbox. I always work the energy field and the healing level of people as well as do their physical body together. And I find I get the best healing through that combination. I'm a little bit of a researcher. I like to experiment. I have open-minded clients, and we're able to look at a lot of things that way. But anyway, getting off on a tangent. So this level is about 5 energy activations, if I may be so bold. I call them enhancements, but it's like a little connection that you get in your energetic spiritual anatomy so that you can heal up at that level. Now, why would this offering be coming forward? You might have heard some of the work and talk on, certainly a lot of it on YouTube, on people's websites. It began percolating through, I was hearing it from my camp, the guides I work with back in 2018 into 2019, into 2020. And I was actually shown some of it in my 20s a long time ago. And I didn't know what it was about, but it's now time for that work to come forward. So you have, at that tribal and national level, you have a grid that we all share on the earth that is like a collection of consciousness and experiences and things that we have laid upon it of both creating, maybe not in the most benevolent way because we didn't know that back then. It's part of the evolution of consciousness of humanity. And so back on that grid is all those old wars and greed and resources and wars fought for the accumulation of resources, or tribal hatred, or land grabs, or whatever else you can look back in recorded history that humans did between tribes and nations back then. That's why I find it a little interesting that people want to tear down monuments of the past, all this stuff that's been going on the last 5 years in the US. I understand the feeling behind it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, where's the celebrating that our consciousness has changed and we know that that's not good? And we don't do that anymore. That's what I feel we should be focusing on, how we've healed and how we've evolved consciously. So we're in a time frame where groups of people can come together in intention and begin healing that grid, just the same way you can heal your spiritual body. When we're together and united, we can collectively heal that consciousness grid, that human Akashic grid, that human crystalline grid. There's many names for it. There's a couple little levels to it. And the most amazing thing is how we do that is in every great renaissance that has ever been, or in lots of cultures. Think of those monks up in the mountains praying and chanting Om Mani Padme Sum, or other times when people have come together and done healing work in groups. All that gets stored up in the grid, in the ancestral level, at another level, and creates what they call the gold. And that gold energy is used through our souls in alignment with the creative forces and the angelics, angels, archangels, and Arakai, and all those who are involved in the healing of this great ability that we have in our spiritual connection through our spiritual body, our connection to source through the heart. And that gold is then used as a higher vibrational catalyst to move in to our souls and into this crystalline grid through the spirit bodies and the collective and the universal life and all that we have at that level. And it can push that energy up and out, and it can be taken care of and taken out. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful picture. I've always said, as an example, I've been at a gem show, and I'll pick up a rock that's beautiful and navy blue with turquoise crystal, druzy crystals in it, and I'll hold it, and I saw bloodshed and machetes, and one tribe was just genociding and wiping out another, and I knew it was the continent of Africa. And I said, did this come from a place of genocide? Is there genocide in this area? And I saw the earth splattered with blood. And so that gets recorded in this crystalline grid. And the vendor said, yes, this was mined about 200 miles away from an area that has a long, long history of tribal genocide and war. So I went down the row of tables to another stone and picked it up. Same rock, same style, same juicy little turquoise and the navy blue rock. And there was nothing in it. I could feel nothing. It was just the stone. And I said to this man, now this was not mined anywhere near tribal genocide or war or anything of that nature. And he said, no, it was not. So it's just an example that in that crystalline structure of the rocks and the crystals and the grids and however it all works, there's tons of crystals in the earth, and they do hold information and energy the same way our bodies do. In the water, we're a large percentage of water. We're like vibrating homeopathic vessels. And at the same way of the spiritual anatomy, we have these amazing abilities to change our resonance and heal. So we can do that as a collective at the group consciousness field. And the guides that I work with on the other side of the veil, who will introduce themselves in this video, that is their area of expertise. That is what they have come forward to do. And so I've said enough, but I hope I gave enough of an understanding for you to understand whether you feel the call to be a part of this group and we believe that we are going to build and eventually have a global group of people who will come forward and do this work, who feel the call at the heart level. And so I'm going to turn myself over to the camp. Now, I do my healing work and my energy work and this type of enhancement work in sound. And I use my sound, my voice as a vocal instrument, and it allows the participant to have a different level of feeling during that energy work. We have 5 physical and spiritual senses, and the sound allows, because we all are very tuned to sound, and it allows that level to be sort of felt, because you have, in the Heart Field series, there's a lot about the senses of the heart, and then you have, seeing and touch and feel, but it allows an extra enhancement to the experience where people can sense a lot more. If and all you have to do to have this is just give the intention, yeah, I want this, I could do this, and your own healing forces, your own soul, your own healing guides, your own invitation to have this energy work done will happen. And that's part of that certainty that, yes, I'm a spirit in a body, I'm a human being, I'm a consciousness in a body with a spiritual nature to it. And then you will certainly create that for yourself, because we do create these things. That's part of our learning of being on earth. So when you listen to this tape, and we get to the part next, which will be in sound, I don't know if we'll have some information exchange with my guide first or not. I never quite know what's going to happen. But I just wanted you to be prepared. You'll hear melodic sounds, which are the souls, our soul-to-soul work of the souls bringing in that soul presence into certain fibers of the energetic anatomy. And then there's an interesting sound that's like a little engine moving. Some people have said, oh, it sounds like a little animal gurgling. And some people say, oh, I don't know, it sounds like something really ancient that I remember, but I don't know. And that's when the energy work of the enhancement is happening. So I hope you enjoy this. This is actually a retape from the original, because we were learning that to do the sound work, we have to have on the original sound for musicians, and there's a toggle there that you have to hit on every video. So this is going to be a retaping of the beginning of the series, but we did get it by the 3rd taping of this, but I want to put a new fresh one in for the first videos 1 and 2 of this series for women, Healing Enhancements for the National Ancestors. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way, and we'll see what happens next. Oh, good day to you, dearest beings of light. My name is Aliania of Cosmic Service. I am a Pleiadian mother of sound. We work at the level of national ancestors, clearing and creating the grids long ago, and, well, clearing not then but now, but we created a lot of your energetic anatomy that enables you to have these experiences at a group level and have it be recorded, because there is a larger wisdom to that happening. And I think I should speak a little louder. And so the energy work of this enhancement, it allows you as an individual to open up to that level of healing of tribes and nations beyond your own little bubble of your aura. Now, what does that mean? The internet shows pictures of a body and an aura energy field around it. This one says your egg-shaped bubble, meaning the aura. And that is actually the inner torus of your whole energy field. That is your body and your spirit body. And the auric field is all of your higher self's records of its time on earth. You have a 26-foot wide energy field, 23 to 26 feet. And the outer torus, of which a lot of information is coming in about now, you'll find a lot of it in the Heart Field series and with other people on the web, that is what is called your galactic records, your galactic information of everything you've experienced that's spiritual and what you learned. And it is through that connection, through the galactic, out into something called the field, which is the universal life that you all share at the creator level, for you indeed are divine. And it is that level that works with angels, archangels, and arachai, large groups of archangels. And it is that work which is coming forward now on the earth on a very deep level. This only happens 3 times in the history of an earth system or planetary system. It happens in the beginning with the making of the grids and the making of your interdimensional DNA in your central column. If you're familiar with that terminology, there's a lot on the web about that, which is also in your cells. And it is done for healing at the shift change time where you are in the middle, and it is done at the end. And so when you do this work in groups, you again create another level of gold high up in the national level. And that is used at the very end when all of the records are taken up and taken to another planet, which is what we did with our information. In your earth, at the galactic level, on a higher level of the human consciousness grid, which is a higher level, maybe some people call it the master grid or the Christ grid, is more information that can be brought forward of all of our experiences and our enlightenment process, as strange as that sounds. And so you will be doing this for the next planetary system. And this is how a planet becomes spiritualized with the energy of the creative source. Heady thought, strange thought, but a beautiful and benevolent thought. So we are going to leave you with that as an opening for this series for women. And in the next video, we will tell you why this is for women and what is different about women than men in healing the human consciousness grid. We will do this in sound and we will not return. We're going to try to keep these short because you lead busy lives. All right, that concludes this enhancement work in sound. You might feel that you're a little spacey. You might feel that you were present in hearing, but you were sort of drifty. That's normal for, it might be a place in meditation or healing work or generally you've never done any of that, that you've never quite been in before. And that will fill in with soul presence as your awareness and your healing, if you are in the healing arts, comes forward into that energy. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but in the second one, I will speak a little bit about preparing yourself for this type of work, which is a little bit more about energy work and learning the art of managing your energy, your spiritual energy, because it keeps you in the now and it keeps you in your information flowing, and it is beautiful and a benevolent practice to stay balanced. All right. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you feel that this was a call for you at some level, and feel free to comment and ask questions, and check out the website, The Wonder of Human Design. I will see you for the second episode in this 5-part series. Thank you for listening.